Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio. So we're in episode 11 now. I know there's been a bit of a gap, but it doesn't matter, so we'll just carry on where we left off. I forget exactly what we were doing last episode, but don't worry, I did recap before I started this, and I've decided that what I'm going to do to start off the episode is get some, I was about to say effectivity modules. They're called efficiency modules now, because as I said in the previous episode, the name has changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these and I'm going to go put these in all of the copper mining drills. So miners or mines, I wasn't sure. Go for mining drills. Fill all those up, and that should hopefully reduce the power usage a lot of all of the mining operations for copper. And if I check the power level, you can see the green line, it's dropped dramatically. We've like halved our power usage there, because of course we've got a lot of stuff that's already had its efficiency greatly increased by adding modules in, and that was sort of the last big thing that uses that. So I'm running around and checking on all of the systems and stuff, and get some signs done there. And I decided that what I'm going to work on next is carrying on with the modules. So I believe in the last episode I set up the level 1 module production. So today I'm going to try and build the start level 2 module production, and then also build the infrastructure for level 3, though of course we're not quite there yet. We need some alien artifacts. We do have some actually to do the alien science, but for now we're not going to start doing that yet. So I'm just working out where to put this particular assembly, because what I need to do is make processing units, and they need circuits and advanced circuits. So I'm going to try and get these off the line that's supplying modules, but I'm trying to work out like where to position it to do that, and in the end I decide to sort of put them on the end there. And maybe that could cause problems later, because I do I wonder if at some point, like for the final push to make rocket defense, we might want to actually like double up the assemblers for the different kinds of modules, and I've sort of like capped the end of that now so that we can't do that, but we'll work that out when the time comes. And also another thing to consider is that we want to be able to expand this system. We want to be able to like have more than one assembler making processing units if possible, because I know previously I think we had a bit of a problem with that. There was a limiting factor in module production. I know in some games that I've played, I've made it so that we have 2 processing unit assemblers just to keep things running at a nice speed. Though of course the amount of electronic circuits they consume is absolutely mental. So like it's difficult to supply 2 of them, to be honest, and have it work on a belt. But anyway, you can see that we're using our level 1 speed modules that we're now producing to make a lot of level 3 assemblers, and they're not necessary in a lot of these cases, but I just want to upgrade the entire system to have these eventually. It's just a better way to do things, and it's much better for putting in efficiency modules, which we're rapidly producing, so we'll be able to start using them. But anyway, you can see I've set up all of the assemblers and so on. A lot of them aren't assigned to produce anything yet, but eventually that they will of course get those jobs. Now I do actually have the research, no, I don't have the research done for speed and productivity modules level 2, but I'm not going to assign those to assemblers yet, because currently I don't have any use for those particular modules, and I want all processing units to go into level 2 efficiency modules, because we're going to want to put those into our electric furnaces. But anyway, we've gone back over to copper production, and that's what we're doing a lot of our work on today, just working on sort of improving this and expanding it and so on. So you saw I put in a few more express belts, just to try and keep things going at full pelt. And then I start trying to put down some more mining drills, but the thing is I'm trying to work out how to position them, and while like making sure everything's covered and also fitting in lubricants, and in the end I just give up, because I realise I don't think it's physically possible without massive rearrangement to actually get it so that we could use we could have the lubricant pipes as they were and be able to actually have mining drills covering everything. So I've taken the pipes out for now, and I'm building it, like I'm just putting in all the mining drills, ignoring that. You can see it's an absolute mess. Look at all this horrible we've got underground belts everywhere, and we've got like there's belts like having to go around a mining drill because we can't go like the correct way, and it's just an absolute disaster, to be honest. But it works, so you know I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I'm just gonna set it up like that, and eventually it's going to empty out, and the deposit will disappear, and all of this can be wiped away. All of this mess that I've created, we'll pretend this never happened and that it was a lot more ordered than it is. But anyway, now that we actually got the entire deposit covered, we need to work out how to reconnect the lubricant pipes, because of course we do need those to make the express belts and also to make electric engines for when we start using those. So I eventually spot a route through, and it requires me to make a few more pipes because it's not very efficient, but I managed to get the liquids through the system just about, and they can carry on their way. You can see that everything's just stopped over here in this middle section now, and I'm trying to like fix this so that the copper is flowing again, but it's such a mess that it's difficult to do anything with it. So I try sticking express belts in here and there to get that working, but unfortunately I've run out, so I have to make my way back over to the main production area so I can resupply on those, running along the belts, get back and just take another stack of them, and that should be enough. And while I'm here, just check on processing unit production, realise I forgot to switch on the smart inserts that I have here, because what I'm doing is I'm filtering out the advanced circuits from the main line and sending them onto the other line to be put with the processing units to go into level 2 and 3 modules, because we don't need any standard electric circuits to make those modules, so we might as well sort of remove them from the line and be efficient in that way. But anyway, we'll make our way back over to copper, and you can see we've got I've put in some more, we'll get some signs done by the way. I put in some more blue belt stuff here. I've got a splitter in, and I'm just sort of looking around trying to work out the best place to put everything. So I put in like an underground turbo belt as well, and then I also put in like fast belts on the corners to try and keep things going at maximum speed there, and things clear up a bit. It's not perfect, but it should be fine for now. So anyway, we wander off over to the coal mining area because we need to resupply everything. It's been a while since I've done that, so I just run in. You can see there's tons of it now. There's like stacks and stacks because we're not using as much now that we're sort of transitioning over to electric furnaces. So anyway, I just take 10 stacks of that and then go to resupply everything. So you're resupplying the train stuff, and then also iron, steel, and then finally over to copper to put in what's left. And then we can move on to something else. And while I was doing that, I spotted a bit of a problem with the oil train. You can see that the plastic supply is running out. Like it's not, the belt keeps being empty, and then it gets filled up a bit when the train arrives and empties again. And the train itself has no plastic in, so I need to go and find out the reason. And looking at the chemical plant, it actually seems that the limiting factor is coal, which surprised me a lot, because I imagined that the whole oil system had gone to pot, seeing as I hadn't been checking on it for episodes. So I double up the coal production, and that should be a big help to plastic production. And then I can go and check up on everything going on here, and you can see that, well, you can't see because I did it too fast, but I can see that petroleum gas and liquid fuel, not liquid fuel, that's KSP, what am I doing? Light oil, petroleum gas and light oil have run down, but they are still there, but heavy oil completely empty, so obviously we need to do some fixing there. And the reason for this is that the oil production has reduced, the rate at which we are refining the oil has dropped, because all of the oil has run out that we were mining. So I'm slowly crafting some pump jacks right now, trying to put them in place so that we can increase the oil production rate. And the annoying thing about pump jacks is they take so long to craft. Like they have a bunch of different requirements, and even when you've done all those, the actual crafting of the item takes absolutely ages, and it's a pain, but I just have to sort of endure it. So I just sit there and slowly assemble them and wait. I went and checked on the oil reserves, and they're starting to fill up again, so we've done enough. I just add in some extra ones so that it acts as a nice big buffer for a while, though in a couple of episodes time we'll probably have to come back and check on it again. So anyway, after another quick check, I decide that what I'm going to do is disconnect the cracking of heavy oil into light oil, because at the moment there is no heavy oil, so we want it all to be turned to lubricant, which is also running down actually, so it's quite urgent that we do that. The only thing is, I'm not sure if the actual production of plastic has increased by that much, looking at it, because the amount that was in the train was only a little bit more than was in the train before. It might be that that's now, it's tipped the balance and it's going to start building up again, but we're going to have to keep our eye on that and make sure that there is enough plastic coming through, especially with the amount of advanced circuits that we're requiring at the moment. We're producing them at full pelt all the time, assuming that we can keep up the supply of electronic circuits for that. But anyway, I've had a quick look at the new smelting area for copper, and I decided to make a tweak here to just even out either side of the belt, because you can see it's building up a lot on the lower side, and on the upper side it's not. so I'd get the evening out thing going so that hopefully it will balance. You can see the reason for that is the circuit production. Everything on the what has become the right side of the belt is taken first, leaving the left side of the belt still full. But anyway, I've run over to module production. I've grabbed a bunch of random stuff there, and I'm also getting some circuits, and you can see that I'm crafting a bunch of level 3 assemblers. So far I think we've only upgraded the actual module production itself to have the level 3 assemblers, but now we're going to extend it a bit more. So you can see I'm crafting 10 of them there, and I just grab a bunch of circuits off the line, seeing as they get used up quite quickly while I'm crafting these, and then I go and replace the entirety of circuit production with the level 3 assemblers, and then I go through and put 3 efficiency modules into every single one, which requires, like, the way I do it is I empty in 4 and then take one out, just for sort of efficiency's sake. You need efficient use of your efficiency modules. But anyway, with that running at full pelt now, I add in a couple of extra long-armed inserters to help supply the iron for that, and then I put in some express belts, and look at the thing now, it's going crazy, which is awesome. Like, it's been a massive, huge boost to the rate at which circuits are produced, and I have to put in express belts just to deliver the circuits now, and also to even out either side of the belts. I actually run out of express belts again, have to grab another stack and make my way back over. So you can see that's going like crazy now. It's sort of hard to keep up with, because that's the problem with the frame rates on this. With the express belts at 30 FPS, when you zoom in at a certain level, it looks like nothing's moving on the belts if it's all at an even sort of rate. And I believe you see that later with some copper, or maybe you've already seen it, I forget. But you can see I'm just putting in express belts everywhere, and everything's going absolutely mental. See, that looks like it's going backwards there, but I assure you it's just going forwards very fast. And basically what's happening now is 2 standard belts are emptying onto that express belt so that they can supply the circuit production as fast as they possibly can. You can see the circuits are really flowing well now, which is excellent. Getting to all our systems nicely. I think even Blue Science is managing to get as much as it wants in terms of circuits. But anyway, had a look at advanced circuits there, and I decided that's the next place I'm going to upgrade. So I go back and grab some more speed modules and efficiency modules. And you can see I also got some level 2 efficiency modules there, so I can make use of those shortly. They go into things that have 2 slots for modules, because that way it keeps it at the maximum of 80% power reduction. So you can see I'm slowly crafting them there. I had to sort of took all of the speed modules that had been produced, and in the end I didn't have enough to upgrade the actual copper wire production, but the advanced circuit production all got upgraded, and I then put the efficiency modules into all of those, and later on when some more speed modules have been produced, I can replace the copper wire as well. And also eventually I'm going to be replacing everything in the factory. I'm going to have entirely level 3 assemblers if I can, just because I prefer it that way. So you can see I just did a bit of sort of balancing there with the copper. I also decided to speed things up. I'm just sort of it's like the rate at which things are flowing it means that slowly but surely, like the blue belts have to creep in to keep things going at full speed, and eventually the entire system is going to be blue belts, like for the entire length, with everything going at absolute full pelt. Anyway, I've just checked on the iron production there and see how that's going. Some of the mining drills have run out, and this thing will soon start to be phased out, I think, because it's running down. But there's still enough iron flowing that I need to put blue belts all along the length of this bit so that everything can sort of empty out nicely. I probably didn't need all that, but I just thought just dump a bunch of the express belts in there, and that'll just make it work, because it's a temporary system like always. So, well, actually not like always. I suppose the main factory is not a temporary system. That's supposed to be there for the entire series. But anyway, with those mining drills running out, it means that the iron supply is generally running down, and now that we've sorted out the copper a lot, it's time to go and improve the iron production. So I go down to the new outpost that I've got here, which is, well, I'd say it was producing less than half of our iron, but I think after this little upgrade here, it's going to be producing most of it. So you can say just add on another row of mining drills along, just working out the spacing to be sort of most efficient. And then I get those connected up to the power grid, and with that done, I connect that stray one up to the line. You say I sort of took a long way around with that. Instead of connecting it directly, I went along a bit, and the reason for that is that it would if I connected it directly, it would have that one mining drill taking up half of the belt, then the entire rest of the mining drills taking up the other half, which is no good. So I take the train back home. I've resupplied both the trains as well with coal, because I had some handy on my inventory, and it's time to upgrade things over on this end. You can see that the iron is not being unloaded quick enough. So what I do is I get a splitter in and get both sides of the belt equally filled by the inserters to keep things going at maximum speed there. And then it's time to put in some new furnaces to deal with the increased supply of iron ore. And there we go. So we've now got 16 furnaces working here, which is excellent. And now this is the main source of iron for the factory. So you can see that's all running nicely. And I can make my way back over to the base. And I do a quick inspection of this sort of this bit where it joins onto the line, and obviously with the increase it's going to be flowing faster, so I decide that it's time to put in a splitter here as well and increase the speed it's going here. It's a slightly more fiddly system. I could have done it in a more efficient way, but I couldn't be bothered because it may still be temporary, to be honest, because we're going to be transitioning over to using entirely the new smelting area at some point. But anyway, go and grab some more express belts and then go and have a look at modules. And we've got a ton more of the level 1 efficiency modules. The name has changed. You can see there we go, upgrading the copper wire. And then I also start upgrading the conveyor belts supplying the copper wire for the circuit production, because it needs it now. So you can see I've got blue belts going along there. Basically, like this, now we've got all these blue belts in, you can see I'm continuing to add some in here. It means that basically the system is running as fast as it will ever run in terms of the supply of copper and iron. And at the moment, with the blue belts going, the copper and iron is filling up just a bit. At the moment, the supply could still be increased, so that's a certain way in which we could do things. But eventually, well, the supply... I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So the rate of delivery of the copper and iron is as high as it can be now, basically, assuming that it gets all the supply it can. But because it's building up, it means there is still capacity to add in some new production of circuits if we should ever need it, which we probably will at some point. But anyway, you can see I've wandered out into the wilderness because I have some radars, and I'm going to set up some new radar outposts, something that I haven't really done in this series yet. I've got one radar going, I believe is connected to the power grid. And apart from that, nothing. So I connect up a second one out in the wilderness that uses solar power. And I also, I grab 5 solar panels from the factory that we've got there, and then I make my way down towards the iron outpost, which is where I'm going to locate the next one. I'm going to keep the grid pattern that I usually do. And actually, there was a video I did on a good way to arrange the radar outpost, which is what I'm following here. It's something like Factorio tips radar outposts, I imagine. Anyway, conveniently that one was right next to the iron outpost that we've got, so I could just connect that up directly to the power grid rather than using solar panels, which is better because it means it's running all the time rather than just at daytime. But anyway, out into the wilderness again, a little bit near to some biter nests, which I could probably deal with actually, because it's just the one there. But I'm just going to leave that for now. Set up another radar outpost, and there we go. We've got a nice grid 2x2. And that's how I'm going to leave it for this episode. In future episodes I'll be expanding it more, of course, and eventually we'll cover, well, the entirety of my factories for a start, and then also a lot of the wilderness around, just so that I can properly see sort of the development of like the biter outposts, and also scout out for distant minerals and things like that. But anyway, I happened to walk past the smelting area, and I found that it's all run out of coal, so I quickly run over and grab a good 15 stacks of that. And also I find that 2 of the mining drills have run out there, so I just get rid of those. There's 2 new ones that I built just a bit earlier going, so I just empty out a ton of the coal into there, refill the train thing, and then resupply all of the steel production as well. And then finally work my way down to copper and put a bit more in there. Of course, copper barely uses any coal nowadays, so we don't need that much in it, but I decide that we need more. So I got 15 stacks there, I've got another 5 now, so that is a lot of coal being put into these systems here. But anyway, I just completely filled the chest for iron there, because that seemed like a good idea. It would keep it going for as long as possible. There we go. You can see that the copper doesn't look like it's moving there because it's flowing ridiculously fast, but I'm sort of inspecting that and deciding whether I should do anything. Decide to leave it for now. Run along and grab some more steel because I'm running out of that, and then make my way back over to the base. Quick inspection of things. everything's looking good. Grab some circuits and so on. And I believe that is the end of the episode, so now I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.